I remember sitting there doing something completely normal, nothing urgent, nothing wrong. And this thought just slipped in. You should be doing more than this. Not because I wanted to, not because I had to. Just this quiet pressure, like I was wasting something I couldn't see. And the weird part is, nothing in my life was actually wrong, but it still felt like I was falling behind on something no one could clearly define. If this feels familiar, stay with me. There's a kind of pressure that doesn't come from deadlines. It comes from possibility. It's not you need to do this, it's you could be doing more. And somehow that feels heavier because there's no finish line. Just this open space where you're constantly measuring yourself against what you might be capable of. And that's a hard thing to ever feel complete inside of. At some point, potential stops being encouraging and starts becoming a quiet expectation. I noticed this when I'd finished something, and instead of feeling done, I'd immediately think about what I should have done better or what I could have done differently. It's like the moment never gets to land because it's being compared to a version of me that doesn't exist yet. And you might have felt that too, where nothing actually counts the way it should. This pressure doesn't need other people. It creates its own comparison. I remember scrolling, seeing someone doing something impressive, and instead of thinking, wow, that's cool, my brain quietly went, you're not using your time like that. Not aggressively, just enough to shift how I felt about my day. And now I'm not just living my life, I'm evaluating it. And that subtle shift changes everything. Rest gets complicated inside this mindset because even when I slow down, there's this background noise. Is this the best use of your time? So rest doesn't feel like rest anymore. It feels like delay, like I'm pausing something important, even if I don't know what that thing is. And over time, you don't just lose rest, you lose permission to be still. Under all of this, there's usually fear. Not loud, not dramatic, just this quiet idea. What if I waste what I could have been? And that sounds reasonable on the surface, but it creates a constant tension because now every moment feels like it carries weight, even small ones, even normal ones. But I started noticing something. What if this pressure isn't actually coming from my potential? What if it's coming from how I'm relating to it? Because potential is abstract. It's not something you can complete. So if I treat it like a standard, I'll always feel behind. Maybe this isn't a sign that I'm not doing enough. Maybe it's a sign that I've turned something open-ended into something I'm trying to finish. And that might be where the tension is coming from. Once that pressure sets in, everything starts to feel like it's being judged. I had a moment where I was working on something small, nothing serious, and I caught myself thinking, is this moving my life forward? And it hit me. Why does everything have to justify itself? Why can't something just be something? You might have had that too, where even simple choices feel like they need to mean something. When everything becomes about potential, life turns into optimization, better use of time, better decisions, better outcomes. But the cost is you stop actually experiencing anything because you're always slightly outside of the moment, trying to improve it. And ironically, the distance is what makes everything feel less fulfilling. I started experimenting with something small, finishing something, and not immediately upgrading it, not analyzing it, not improving it, just letting it be what it was. And at first, it felt uncomfortable, like I was missing an opportunity. But then something shifted. I realized maybe the moment already held what it needed. And you might have felt that too, that strange relief when something is allowed to be complete. Maybe potential isn't something you're supposed to chase. Maybe it's something that unfolds as you stay present in what you're already doing. Not perfectly, not maximized, just honestly. Because if every moment has to prove something, you never actually get to live inside it. And maybe the shift isn't, am I using my potential? Maybe it's, am I here for my life while it's happening? There's nothing wrong with wanting to grow, but there's a difference between growth and living under constant evaluation. One expands you, the other quietly compresses everything. And if you've been feeling that pressure, like you're always supposed to be doing more, becoming more, optimizing more, it doesn't necessarily mean you're falling behind. It might just mean you've been carrying something that was never meant to be measured that way. I'm Scott Stewart, and you're not crazy.